What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And today we got our first look at Play Booster boxes. We are going to open up a Murders at Karlov Manor Play Booster box. We, of course, have sunsetted draft and set boxes now. And we have play boxes in their place. This is pre-release weekend for Karlov Manor, and I just got done playing at a pre-release event at my LGS. And very excited to see what these Play Booster boxes look like in totality. I know that definitely you could feel the sealed pool from the pre-release event that was a little bit juicier because of the extra rares and or mythics in there. I think my Play Booster pool of 6 packs plus my promo had like 13 rares or mythics in there amongst the 6 packs, again, plus the pre-release promo. So very interested. Hopefully we pull some fun stuff. And with that being said, why don't we go ahead and dive on in and let's crack some packs. So, obviously, since it is literally pre-release night as I'm opening this up, we're not going to talk about pricing or anything. It's way early. We're not going to bother talking about singles pricing or EVs or anything like that for at least a few weeks. This will simply be about experiencing this new product SKU, kind of seeing what it's all about. So we have 10 special guests now. We still have a list slot, right, or list cards. I think the list is down to 40 cards for this set, and I think the special guest cards are pretty rare, so should be interesting. Hey, we do have pull tabs. All right. Okay. Definitely have some mythics. I'm excited about pulling some of the new land cycle, the Surveil lands. I like that they have the basic land types, so all the good stuff in the front, just the way we like it. All right, so we've got our basic land there. There's our borderless land, which look very much like the Capenna lands. All right, Dog Walker. First rare is Relive the Past. Second rare, sweet, is Undercity Sewer. So this is the blue-black land. Island Swamp again. So it's cool because they're fetchable, right? And then they do enter the battlefield tapped, of course. But the Surveil one, I actually like a little bit more than the Scry lands. Oh, yeah, this is a really strong uncommon. So I think Insidious Roots is going to see some definite play. It's definitely one of those cards that I was pretty excited about as I was previewing this set. So that's really, really neat. A lot of strong uncommons in this set, and I think there's some pretty strong commons as well. We know that there's, again, pre-release pricing, so don't pay any mind to it, but the Slime Against Humanity as a common was pre-selling at like nearly $4, which is wild. Although I do think it'll retain some value because all the cards that break the rule of 4 rule, the maximum deck rule, that one seems like it has a lot of potential to it. All right, Jaded Analyst. Next rare is a Blood Spatter Analysis. Actually, kind of previewed this card. I really wanted this to be better. Like I really wanted it to be you'd be able to sacrifice this enchantment to return a creature directly from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think that would have had some real playability at that point. I like the cases, by the way. Really cool advancement or metamorphosis of the sagas. They played really well in Limited. I've played against a couple. I played a couple myself. And I thought they were pretty neat. Sagas are like probably one of the better changes we had. I think their first version of it was in Dominaria. And I think a really, really cool card design. All right, so you got our super looking cool token card there. We've got a Foil Plains and a Hazda Vigilance. Next rare, whoa, double rare is World Souls Raise. There is a card that I'm actually I'm also looking to try out myself as well. So this is a pretty sweet rare. I will let you guys read it. A lot of text there, but that is a card I like. And then we've got our next of the I don't know what we're calling these lands, so I don't know. Just say the land cycle for the time being. But there is the blue-green one. Interested to see about how many of these we average per box as well. There are definitely some, it's my first box, so I'm going to go a little bit slower anyway, but there are some commons and uncommons that I'm on the lookout for, so that's why I'm going through those as well. All right, next pack up. Also be curious to see like how many mythics we average in Play Booster boxes going forward. Is that a mythic token? It's a mysterious creature. Okay. Oh, I think it's just an H. I thought it was an M at first. I was like, what is this nonsense? All right, little mountain. High alert. So there is a first list hit. Got ourselves a high alert from what is this? Ravnica Allegiance, I think. All right. So sure, it's a list. We'll throw it up there. Why not? Hey, we've got one of the showcase foils, the Fanatical Strength, which is a kind of, well, it's basically like a little bit giant growth like, except for it gives trample. It is one more mana, but it gives trample. It's kind of sweet. Be interested to see how many of those cards we get. Okay. Bard Servitor. Love me some Stuffy Doll-like action, and this is very Stuffy Doll-like, so kind of a cool rare. I'm going to throw it up top. It's a card that when I saw it in previews, I was like, yeah, I would like to get my hands on some of those. Meddling Youths. Eliminate the possible. And then a Demand Answers in that showcase. Reasonable Doubt. Tunnel Tipster. Seasoned Consultant. And hey, nice. It's Murder. All right, into our next pack. I forgot we have a full complement set, and I'm so used to like quote unquote set boxes being 30 packs. I forget that these are actually, you know, because of the drafting thing, they're actually what, 36. So I'll probably pick it up a little bit here, just make sure we don't have a 1,000,000-minute video. It's our cool looking Capenna Forest. Can't fool me. Offender at Large. Rare is Cryptex, which is a very weird 2-mana rock. I don't even know if you can call it that. You have to collect 3, so there is definitely a stipulation to it. I don't know that you can just use it every time. Cornered Crook, Glint Weaver. Got our split cards again, because, you know, it technically is taking place on, the set is taking place on Ravnica. Even though it very much feels like this would have been a set made for the Capenna plane, right? Got like detectives and people with fedoras on, and it just very much seems like it's not a Ravnica set. All right, Swamp. Case of the Trampled Garden as a foil uncommon. Coveted Falcon, actually a rare that people are kind of interested in, and I'm as well, so that's kind of neat. We'll take that. Forum Familiar, Kitty Cat, neat. Repulsive Mutation, pretty good uncommon. Pompous Gadabout. Okay, I'll do it for that pack. No Mythics yet. A lot of ball game left. For whatever it's worth, again, you know, playing one limited event, I don't know that that qualifies as a sample size that can tell you anything about the limited environment, but I did enjoy myself. Quite a bit, actually. Knife. Foil uncommon. Hey, Kranko's Buzz Crusher. There's a card that people are kind of talking about. So, enters the battlefield. For each player, destroy up to one non-basic land that player controls. Notice it does not say target. So the most noticeable case use for this is that it destroys Lotus Field because it gets around hexproof because it doesn't target. So 4/4/4/4 flying trample that can also knock out one of your opponent's pivotal lands. They do get to replace it, but not with that land necessarily. It's our first of the Detective Files showcase cards in the Neighborhood Guardian. Shock. I don't think I've seen any Lightning Helixes yet. Curious to see some of those. Great reprint. Lightning Helix in Standard is going to be interesting. All right, another art card. Sure. One of our borderless lands. Gravestone Strider. First Mythic is going to be Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. Neat. 6 for a 6/6 flying trample. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards. Instant value train. So they're either sacking permanents or you're drawing cards. That's a pretty good trade-off if they can't answer. Hey, followed up by an Assassin's Trophy. Man, oh man, I love the Assassin's Trophy. I remember when this card came out in Guild of Ravnica as a rare, and it was like a $20 plus card. It was like the chase card of the set. So, decent reprint on Assassin's Trophy. It was, of course, I think it was reprinted in Double Masters as well. Long Goodbye, really strong uncommon. This spell can't be countered, so it gets around wards as long as it otherwise has a legal target. Wisp Drinking Vampire. Nice, all right. I'll be interested to see amongst the little list how many list shots do we get per box, and then I'm also interested in the special guests. Wondering if we're still going to average, if there's only 10 of them, if we're still going to average one per box. Ooh, hey, beautiful foil island there. That's neat. And then a Rot Farm Mortipede. Rare is an Aurelia above the Law Above. That's actually a pretty strong rare. Not bad. I think Aurelia is going to see some play for sure. Sanctuary Wall, hard-hitting question. Clandestine Meddler, Case of the Shattered Pact. Fanatical Strength, this time in the non-foil. Crowd Warden, On the Job, another Mortipede. Okay. Closing out our first column of packs here. We've got 3 packs left. Got a couple of the lands already. Got a couple of pretty strong rares and 1 mythic thus far. These cards are kind of stuck together. Try not to go too fast. Oh, nice. Hey, there's a foil rare. That is a Barbed Servitor. Again, a card I really like. Very stuffy doll-like, and which I'm always a fan of. So that's a decent foil rare. I think we could do worse than that. Unyielding Gatekeeper, a card that got me really good when I was playing against it in Limited. I was not expecting that in Disguise. Disguise was a much bigger part of the Limited environment than I necessarily imagined. Face down creatures everywhere all night long. Okay. All right. Cards that I'm looking for. I would love to see an Undergrowth Recon. I would love to see a Massacre Girl. I would love to see a Judith. Those are probably like 3 of the cards I really want to try to pull. Plains. Reasonable Doubt. Sure, that's fine. Actually, that should go in that pile. There we go. Reasonable Doubt as a full common. Mythic. Agris Kos, Spirit of Justice. 4 for 2/4 double strike vigilance, and then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it is suspected, exile it, otherwise suspected. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I imagine this card would be a limited bomb as well, because there was a lot of suspected running around. And next, our third of the lands. That is Shadowy Backstreet. Pretty cool. Exit Specialist. Hey, Crime Novelist. There's a heck of an uncommon. There's an uncommon that people are very excited about. And for good reason. And that seems that card seems quite, I don't want to call it busted, but yeah, kind of busted. A lot of really strong, I mentioned this already, a lot of strong uncommons, a lot of good playable commons and very strong uncommons in this set. All right. Gadget Technician as a foil common. Rare is a Sharp-Eyed Rookie. I actually kind of like this card, and that's in the showcase art, I guess you would say. Case of the Locked Hot House as one of our cases. It's kind of cool. All right, Case of the Trampled Garden. That's an uncommon. Oh, Fuss and Bother. That's an uncommon. Okay. Okay, that's going to do it for that pack. Pretty good so far. That was our first, the end of our first column of the box. All right. Detective. Mountain. Millstone. There is another one of the lists. I did look over the list prior to looking at the box. I wasn't super blown away by it. There is a couple of really, really strong hits on it and kind of a lot of nothing after that. Although, again, play boosters now are also the things that you draft out of. So all the list cards that you see that we pull would, if you open one of them in Limited, you can play with them. You can put them in your deck. Millstone in a deck is it's still a thing. Still a win condition. Another Aurelia above the law, this time in the showcase. Okay. I have mixed feelings about the showcase art. I think it looks kind of cool in some instances and not so great in the others. Hunted Bone Brute. Evidence Examiner. Gleaming Gear Drake. Tunnel Tipster. Yep. Okay. Is that Niv Mizzet? I think so. Yep. There's a land. Demand Answers. Rare is an Audience with Trostani. Kind of a weird rare. I think it's good. Maybe. I don't know. You have to definitely build around it. Harry Dronesmith. Aftermath Analyst. Lead Pipe. Shock. Unscrupulous. I do notice, I don't know if we've probably pulled other clue tokens by this point, but I think the clues have like a puzzle kind of thing or a picture that you can put together on the back. I'm sure if you get enough of them, they probably put some sort of picture that you have to solve together. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I did notice that. Living Conundrum. Steam Core Scholar as a rare. Sudden Setback. A Killer Among Us. I love the art on that. Everyone's just pointing at each other, kind of like Spider-Man memeing there. Okay. Interesting. All right. Foil rare Doppelgang. This card, This card. Don't be scared by the triple X. I know that that's a lot of mana to invest in anything, but when the card does for each of X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent, X permanent. So if X is 2, that's X 2 different permanents, and then create 2 tokens that are copies of that permanent. And if X is 3, obviously da 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 da. So like copying permanents, yeah, it's a big mana investment, but holy moly, this card, that card I think gets out of hand. Hey, Tolsmir, neat. This is a neat rare. Good old Tolsmir. Wrench, Private Eye. Escape Tunnel, because, got a power creep Evolving Wilds. Evolving Wilds has been far too good for too long. Let's figure out a way to get it out of there by making a better version of it. All right, Plains. Kodolsa Rebirth. Actually, not a bad for a common. Not a bad list hit. Additional cost, sacrifice an artifact, and then create 3 gobos. There, that is in a deck. It does see some level of play. Glint Weaver as a foil uncommon, and then Enzrag's Rampage. This time in the showcase rare, non-foil, but this is a card I actually think is pretty nutty as well. Another Doppelgang, which I will take. Slimy Dual Leech. Hey, Auspicious Arrival, a card that performed very well for me in Limited tonight as a combat trick that essentially cantrips because it creates it investigates as well. So as long as the spell resolves, you're getting a replacement. You're getting a clue which you can kind of use to replace that card. Basilica Stalker. Rare is an Ezram Agency Chief. Crovet Haunch, Night Drinker Mori. Oh, there we go. Slime Against Humanity. That's the common. I probably passed at least a couple of others up because I wasn't really looking at the commons too hard, but people are very excited about that common. Okay. Foil Swamp. Crovad Haunch again. Rare is a Doorkeeper Thrall. Probably a good card. May see some play. Flash really gives that card an edge. Deadly Cover-Up, also I think a really good playable rare. Kind of like that card. Candlestick, Case of the Burning Masks, Frantic Scapegoat, not bad. Bad joke. Cold Caseworker, sure. Magnifying Glass, Shady Informant, Makeshift Binding. All right, a little more past the halfway point in the box at this point. I think we've got about 4 packs left in this middle column. Another clue. Don't remember if the art was the same. I think so, because I remember the 16 being there. So different clue arts probably have different stuff on the back. Goblin Mask Maker. Rares, there's a good one too. Leyline of the Guild Pack. Yet another card that people are quite excited about. I think that's going to be a pretty strong rare. Watchdog, Courier, Sentry, No More Lies. Also a pretty strong uncommon. Mana Leak is in Standard and Pioneer now. Not quite Mana Leak, but like in one way potentially better than Mana Leak, but just a little bit more restrictive on the mana value or on the mana cost. Okay, so no special guest card yet, and we're still at 2 Mythics, which is interesting. They went this way as a foil common. Lost in the Maze, also a card I kind of like. Feels a little under the radar, potentially good. I like that it's kind of feels like part of the Meat Hook Massacre cycle with the 2 and then the X, and it also has a flash component to it. So feels like kind of like the blue version of that, right? The blue Meat Hook. Burden of Proof. Get a leg up. Expose the culprit in the showcase that time. V2 Ghazi Inspector. Deduce, also in that showcase. Then Maverick, Red Herring, Eavesdropper, Unscrupulous Agent. All right. 2 packs left in this middle column. All right, so can we revisit this whole Mythic count thing? Also, again, I'm not really sure how many of the lands to expect, but they put all of them in there, right? So I think we get all 10 of them. It's not like half and half. So in theory, I think these boxes should produce a fair amount. Long Goodbye is a foil uncommon. There's a Mythic. Ooh, hey, nice. Conspiracy Unraveler. Also a card that people seem to be pretty hyped about, right? So collect evidence 10 rather than pay a spell's mana cost. So if you collect evidence 10, you get to play a spell for free. Free spells seem good. Hey, there we go. There's a Raucous Theater. This is the Rakdos land of the new land cycle. Pretty good, pretty good. So it does make us 4 lands. Case of the Filched Falcon, B2 Ghazi, Branch, Galvanize. Okay, hey, that was a good pack. One of the lands plus another mythic. Last pack of the middle column here. Another mysterious creature. How about some mysterious wanderers? Soon, very soon. Land. No witnesses. So we have another foil rare. Is it our third? It is our third of the box because we got Barb Servitor and Doppelgang already. So a third foil rare, which is interesting. Izoni, Center of the Web. Vengeful Tracker. There's an uncommon I think is pretty strong. Buried in the Garden. Unauthorized Exit as a showcase common. Okay. All right. Let me move some stuff around here real quick. There we go. I'll move the lands over. We have more than enough space. And then we can even make a third rare card pool if we need to, because we'll have more than enough lands or space now. All right. Last pack. Last column. First pack of the last column. We'll get this right. So 3 list cards so far. No special guests so far. Behind the Mask as a foil common. Rare is an Outrageous Robbery. Yet another card I think is pretty solid. I'll if you want to pause there and read it, I will let you. There's a lot of words, so I don't want to read them, but I think this card's pretty darn good. Greenbelt Radical, Concealed Weapon, Deadly Complication, actually a decent card as well. And that in the showcase, Curious Inquiry, Thinking Cap, Nervous Gardener. All right. So we're on 3 mythics, so in a typical draft box, right? So obviously pre-play booster. I think about 4 mythics felt like the average for a normal draft box, and then set boxes were a little bit more juiced. They tend to offer around 6 mythics or so. Another Fuss and Bother. That's a foil uncommon. There is a mythic. It is Kylox's Volstrider. Interesting card. I've heard some people think this card is really, really good and potentially could be broken. And then I've heard a lot of people just it's not that exciting. I think it's hard to use. So interesting card. I think it can go either way. Rare Cryptic Coat. Actually a pretty decent rare. Undercity Eliminator. Glint Weaver. They went this way. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know what to make of the Volstrider either. It's a mythic vehicle, which we don't get those very, very often, right? All right. Mountain. But just because we don't get them very often doesn't also make them doesn't necessarily mean they're very good, that they're always good. Persuasive Interrogator is actually a common an uncommon I really like, and that's in the foil showcase. Fugitive Codebreaker, kind of a good card as well. Prowess Haste and does some stuff. Long Goodbye. Meddling Youths, Dramatic Accusation as a showcase common. That's going to do it there. So we're at 4 of our lands. We've had a lot of the rares that I was hoping to see. I will say that, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, and obviously it's our first box I've opened, so I don't really know what constitute a good box yet, right? I don't know whether you're looking for 4 lands or 7 lands or what. I don't know what the mythic count to expect is, so it's very early. Don't know what constitutes a good box yet, but this box doesn't feel bad. Lamplight Phoenix. Hey, Commercial District. Neat. So there's the Gruul land, so that does bring us to 5 lands. The average land count is going to be 5 or better. It's going to be very interesting. I think that's a good thing. I think the lands, again, this is the first of them. They're going to definitely see Commander play. I think they'll probably be, I don't know, my guess when the dust settles, they're probably $3 to $5 somewhere in that realm. Unscrupulous Agent. Another mythic. Etrata Deadly Fugitive. Okay, so Death Touch. Oh, it's the face down one. Yeah. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. Very interesting card. I definitely think you have to put some effort into building around it. It's not just throw it in the deck. Here's a card that was pretty, just an uncommon, but I was pretty impressed with that card in limited as well. The -4/-4 really comes in handy. Okay. I, in fact, killed the Barbed Servitor with one, which otherwise has Indestructible. Told that card to get. Hard Evidence, a common from MH2 off of the list. Yeah, I feel like the list is going to be largely unimpressive. And then every once in a while, you're going to get some bomb hit off of it, and it's going to be like, oh, it's amazing. Axebane Ferox. This card seems really good. It's maybe Questing Beast Light. 4/4/4/4 Death Touch Haste, so it's got all of the Questing Beast attributes. And then the ward is Collect Evidence 4, which is not always an easy task, right? So it may in some ways be, not targetable if they don't have the means to do it, or if you've, cleared their graveyard from the things that they could collect evidence with. So I think that creature is pretty decent as far as like an aggro creature. I don't think it's Questing Beast good, but it's also, like I said, Questing Beast Light, right? Foil common is a Nervous Gardener. Sharp-Eyed Rookie as a rare. And another crime novelist. Neat. Doesn't add up. Interesting. Okay. Looks like we probably have about 6 packs left. We are on 5 Mythics right now, so kind of like meeting in the middle, right? Draft boxes between 4 and 6. Set boxes right around 6+. And we're at 5 right now. Concealed Weapon. Niv Mizzet of the Guild Pact. I don't think he's as good as other Niv Mizzets, but I mean, a 6/6 through the air with flying and hexproof from multicolored is, you can do worse. Exit Specialist, Sample Collector. Call a Surprise Witness as the showcase. I really do like that framework. I think the frame on that looks really, really cool, and the colors look very like clean and bold. Big fan of that particular frame. I think they look good. All right. Little forest action. There's a foil Slice from the Shadows. Pretty decent removal spell. Also cannot be countered. And then a Prof's Eidetic Memory. Kind of like that as enchantment. Torch the Witness. Presumed dead. Not on my watch. Okay. 4 packs left. No special guest card. And 4 list hits. None of them rare, by the way. I think we had 2 commons and 2 uncommons. Super interesting. And again, this box is whatever it's going to be. It's one box. It doesn't mean anything, but I think it's going to give us a feel for the product. Teysa, Opulent Oligarch. Had this in my sealed pool, and she was fantastic. Lightning Helix. That might be the first I've seen of those. Persuasive Interrogators again. Chalk Outline. Pretty strong uncommon. Teysa was quite good. All right, a little foil forest. Followed by a foil common Instruct the Confession. Rare case of the Uneaten Feast. Also had this in my limited pool. It is a great turn 1 play. Gained me a ton of life each game. Case of the Gateway Express. Rope, Coerced Kill, Polygraph Orb. All right, and that's going to do it. We have 2 packs left. Didn't hit Judith. That's a rare. I mean, Mythics are going to be Mythics, right? But would have loved to have hit a Judith. All right. Foil Mountain. Defenestrated Phantom. Mythic. Oh, really is Vindicator. Actually, that's a pretty sweet Mythic. I think this card is going to see play. It's pretty darn good. Flying Lifelink Ward 2. And yeah, you can read the disguise portion. It does some things, and I think it's multifaceted in what it can do. Absolving Lamusu. They went this way. The Chase is on as a showcase. Deduce, Crowd Control Warden. Oh, and a Slice from the Shadows again in that showcase. All right, last pack. So that does bring us up to 6 Mythics. I think that's a healthy amount for a box. Unauthorized exit. Rare is a 10th District Hero. I actually kind of like that rare as well. Kind of sweet. Reminds me of a Figure of Destiny. Push and pull. And on the job is our showcase back there. And that is going to do it. So no special guest card. We had 4 list hits in the 36 packs. Again, I don't know. Again, the new list is only 40 cards, right? So reduced list, you're probably not going to get as many. We did get 5 of the new land cycle. I think that's healthy. 6 mythics. I didn't quite get the mythics I was looking for. Got a couple of, what I'll call impact mythics, I think. And I think Rakdos might be a thing too. Who knows? 6 drop is tough though. So interesting box. Hit a lot of the rares I was hoping to see. Very interesting on the layout of these play booster boxes. So that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, hit the like button for me, and by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody, and be well.